The theories and ideas shared in this episode are based on publicly available information and are for the purpose of creative thought and entertainment. The topics we discuss are our own opinions and purely speculative. Our aim is to explore claims made by prominent individuals, verify them best as we can, and discuss their potential reality. We're just two regular dudes who are fascinated by this phenomena. Enjoy the conversation. Welcome back to the Rusty Saucer Podcast. Today, it'll be just me going through this episode. Andrew, unfortunately, has a lot of work stuff that he's been having to kind of manage and rearrange his schedule for the last couple months, and it's just kind of been overwhelming for him, and he's going to come back here at a later date. So I'm going to hold down the fort now until Andrew is able to come back. But before we get started on this episode, I just want to let everybody know that this is an independent channel, and both Andrew and we both work extremely hard to make this content, creating the templates, operating the softwares and all that. So it does take a lot of time and energy to create these episodes. It's something that this is a topic that we're very passionate about and we find interest in. So with that being said, if you're new here, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, and following us on X, following us on Spotify. We also have an Instagram. We don't really post a whole lot on there, but any type of support from anybody is well appreciated. And commenting down below what you guys think of this topic, our episodes, and any other episodes that you recommend for this channel. We are still in the works on some of the recommendations that we've had in the past. However, it's just we've both been very busy and trying to figure out, a schedule to run this thing. So getting that out of the way, we are going to start this video. And this is going to be about former Army Colonel Karl Nell. So we have touched on Karl Nell before on this channel, but we are going to do another deep dive summary for new viewers here and a refresher of just who this Karl Nell guy is. So without further ado, let's get into it. Colonel Karl Nell is a retired officer who served as the Army's liaison for the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, or UAP, task force from 2021 to 2022. He has a long and distinguished career in military and defense roles, which gives him significant credibility in discussions about UAPs or UFOs. Colonel Karl Nell has held several significant roles in the aerospace industry throughout his career. Lockheed Martin Missiles and Space. He worked as a senior systems engineer contributing to advanced aerospace projects. Northrop Grumman. I hope that I'm saying that right. It could be Northrop Grumman. He served as the Director of Systems Engineering and Integration, overseeing complex defense systems. TASC, Inc. He held leadership positions focusing on integrated solutions and technology development. ENSCO, Inc. He contributed to high-end aerospace development and advisory services. Army Futures Command. He served as an aerospace executive and senior military officer supporting the Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Task Force, or the UAPTF. Nell has publicly supported the claims of whistleblower David Grush, who we have also covered on this channel, who has alleged that the United States government has been recovering and reverse engineering non-human spacecraft for decades. Nell confirmed the existence of a multi-decade-long reverse engineering program within the United States military and defense contractor industries. His high-level military background and direct involvement with the UAP task force makes him a credible source on this topic. So now that we have that out of the way, we're going to jump into the video with Karl Nell. All right, everybody. So we're going to hop into this video where Karl Nell is going to answer questions about UFOs, or what he calls them as UAPs. That's just more the military term for the topic. Um, yeah. Also, with this video, the subtitles are a little wonky. The video that I'm getting it from the X link, which will be in the description, already has subtitles built into it, but they're like barely visible. So I just put on the subtitles on top of them, just so that viewers can really see what he's saying and read along. To get, yeah, I just felt like that would be easier for the viewer experience. So just going to put that out there. It kind of does cover up his name and title over here in the video, but should be fine. And I'm excited to jump on into this.
Lou said and Ross alluded, progress on this topic would not be possible without.
And whenever Karl Nell is talking about Lou and Ross, might not be a surprise to everybody, but he's not talking about me whenever he's talking about Ross in here. He's talking about Ross Coldheart and Lou Elizondo. So I'm just going to start this over real quick, and now that you guys know that.
Lou said and Ross alluded, progress on this topic would not be possible without the support and grassroots efforts of the folks that are participating in this chat and the folks that are in your guys' orbit. And so what actually is this topic, right? And Ross and Lou also have alluded to this. Non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity on this planet. This interaction is ongoing and it's not new. And there is zero doubt. But you already knew that. So how do we go about convincing other people that this is the case? Particularly people that aren't necessarily privy to all the information that some of us may otherwise be. And so there's three principal lines of effort, three principal sources of data. There's essentially the first principles argument, which basically says, counter to common belief, that life is common in the universe. How do we know life should be common in the universe? There's 20 billion sun-like stars in the universe. The sun is a population 1 star. There are planets like this, there's stars like the sun that are 5 billion years older than the sun. That's plenty of time for other civilizations to evolve on these other planets. There is recent scholarship that says that life evolved on Earth in the Hadean era. The Hadean era was before the crust even cooled. There's recent scholarship that says that microbes have been found in terrestrial rock that have dated to 2 billion years ago, essentially in stasis. So life evolved here very quickly. There are many, many planets like the sun, and there are many, many planets that are much older than the sun. People that would argue that life is uncommon have to justify that proposition more than anyone would have to justify the fact that life evolves very quickly. The second point is faster than light travel. Everybody says faster than light travel is not possible. This is false. Miguel Alcubierre, a postgraduate student at the University of Mexico in 1994, solved Einstein's equations for an effective faster than light mechanism. NASA has investigated this. Everyone accepts his solution as valid. His solution requires negative energy. In 1960, quantum physics demonstrated or predicted the reality of negative energy. In the 90s, the Casimir effect was demonstrated in the laboratory. The Casimir effect demonstrates negative energy. The expansion of the universe, which is caused by dark energy, is negative energy. So we have a solution to Einstein's equations that allow effective faster than light travel. We've got the existence of negative energy proven. This isn't an engineering solution. This isn't a means where we can go and do this, but theoretically it's possible. And this is not argued by modern scholarship. So from a first principles, life is more than likely common, and we know that Einstein's equations support effective faster than light travel. That's the first principles argument. The second is the testimonial. Perhaps there are people out there that may know more than some of us might know, including people that have been in the intelligence community, such as myself. So we can look at several presidents, Barack Obama, President Trump. They both said UAP are real. We can look at, as was mentioned earlier, Chris Mellon, Dave Grush.
And also, we did do a video. You can check out some of our other videos. We did do one on the presidents. in their comments on UFOs, and where the presidents that he's referring to in this clip, Donald Trump and Barack Obama, we have clips from both of them and their comments on UFOs. They do give very interesting answers, but go check those out for yourself and see what you think of their comments on UFOs and how compelling that might be.
Lou Elizondo have said non-human intelligence is real. We can look at Lord of the Fleet, Lord Hill Norton, a chief of the defense staff in the United Kingdom in past years, have said UFOs are real. We can look at the first Earl Mountbatten of Burma in the United Kingdom again, that have said UFOs are real. We can look at the chief of the Canadian Defense Ministry, Paul Hellyer, who have said non-human intelligence is real. We can look at Haim Eshed, who is the Israelis' father of their space program, who has said non-human intelligence is real. All these people and more would be in a position to know. Then we can look at the evidence, the data. You've seen the videos, the floor video, the gimbal, the go fast. A lot of people probably don't know Gordon Cooper, one of America's 7 Mercury astronauts, chased UFOs over West Germany in 1951. He testified to that fact before the United Nations in 1978. And
Gordon Cooper, that is another individual that we have done a deep dive into on this channel. That video is related to astronauts and UFOs. You can find it in our videos. I'll put links to all of these videos as well in our description. That's another fascinating video. Gordon Cooper had some interesting things to say about his encounters with UFOs.
Analogous to the David Fravor Tic Tac incident, we can look at the UFO incursions over.
Hate to keep pausing it for everybody, but David Fravor, another one, we did do a deep dive into him. The Tic Tac incident is very interesting, and we've stated multiple times is David Fravor is one of the best witnesses that you can kind of do research on in this topic that has had an encounter, has data to support what had happened. Just one of the most credible people in the field whenever it comes to just the UFO topic and UFO incidents.
For the Northern Tier ballistic missile early warning sites in the 70s, and the document supported and testimony supported readiness status change of our ICBMs in the 60s at Malmstrom Air Force Base, where many missiles were taken offline by a UFO. The analogous thing happened in the Soviet Union contemporaneously. In their case, the missiles were brought online. There's an agreement between the United States and, at the time, the Soviet Union, intending to reduce the threat of nuclear war, that talks about each party notifying the other if UFOs are impinging on their warfighting systems, because this was recognized as a fact. There's documentary evidence, the Twining memo from 1947. General Nathan Twining, future Chief of Staff of the U.S. Air Force, wrote a memorandum that said the UFOs are most likely extraterrestrial. There's official Australian documents declassified on the National Archives of Australia from 1971 from their defense attaché that made a formal assessment of the United States' interest in UFOs, the reality of that, and the fact that the US was investigating anti-gravity programs in concert with looking into UFOs, a conclusion that would make no sense unless the reality of this topic was demonstrated. So some people say, well, if this is real, why don't they fly over the White House or something? Well, in 1952, UFOs flew over Washington, D.C. over 2 weekends. There were radar visual sightings, there were air-to-air intercepts, and it created the largest press conference since World War II up to that time. People say, well, why don't they just land during the middle of the day? Well, that happened in 1994 at the Aerial School in Rura, Zimbabwe, where UFOs presented themselves with beings and occupants on the ground, witnessed by numerous children. The exact same incident happened in 1966 in Westall, Australia. The people that witnessed those events are still alive, and they continue to state the assertion of that being a factual occurrence. So these things taken together, along with much other evidence, suggest that this is absolutely true. And I'm speaking to you today to tell you that there is zero doubt this is absolutely true. I know this personally. So the way to solve this problem is to motivate the grassroots. Political activism is the solution to restoring proper oversight, developing a process for responsible disclosure, and advancing society through the efforts of that process. So I salute you for your participation in this event. Again, I thank New Paradigm Institute. I'm humbled to be able to address you and participate with you in this historic occasion, and I wish you the best. God bless.
Okay, so that was really interesting. While the video was going on, I had some notes that I was creating on the side to kind of go over each bullet point that he was talking about in his in this clip. So, excuse me. One of the first things that he started talking about was life is common in the universe. We've got X number of stars and X number of solar systems in our universe that are capable of housing life. And we are not the only life forms out in the universe, and we are most likely not the only intelligent life forms in the universe. And this leads into a second point where life didn't just start at one period of time. Life has started at many different periods of times. It started billions of years ago. It's starting some places, like right now, life is starting in some places. So to just measure us and say, oh, it only started when we started, and we have evolved at the fastest and the quickest, and we're not going to interact with other life forms. He's saying that it's very unlikely that we are the most developed life forms in the whole universe right now, that there are other life forms within the universe that probably are ahead of us. And then that leads to faster than light travel is real, and it is possible. We cannot do it yet. He made that clear that this is not an engineering thing that we've figured out yet, but it is a theoretical situation that theoretically they have figured out what it would take to do faster than light travel or perform faster than light travel. Then he goes on to talk about people with the need to know are saying that this is real. And he lists off a number of people that are head of different space-related organizations, aerospace organizations, military organizations, and is just like, hey, all of these people are coming out and saying that this stuff is real. Some of them are saying non-human. Some of them are saying just UFOs, but people in very high-level positions that are taken very seriously for national defense, for science, are saying that these things are real. And I thought that that was really interesting. That is one thing that seems to be kind of glossed over, is you can send all these names that are saying that these things are real, and people just are like, well, until I see it, I'm not going to believe in it. So I just want to put that out there that, he's right. We do not have access to all the data, but the people that do have that access, they are the ones saying that these things are real. Some interesting parts of this clip too was the Russia and U.S. agreements that they had to, if they noticed a UFO, that they had to report it between one another. Purely speculation here, but that kind of sounds like that. It's kind of like they both have a boss, that it's like, hey, the boss's ship is coming through. Purely speculation. I have nothing to back that up, that, that's what's going on. But that's what I kind of thought of whenever I heard that. Regardless, it is interesting. Did they actually go through with that deal? Were they actually sending reports to one another about UFOs? I don't know. I kind of doubt it, to be honest. If they had a UFO incident, they probably did not want the other to know about this because they wanted to figure out what it was and take it. But we don't know. Just an interesting thought. He did say, "I know this personally," after talking about non-human intelligence exists. So is he talking about that he knows this personally because he's had face-to-face encounter with something that is related to non-human intelligence? Has he gotten reports on it? What does that mean? I know this personally. And just kind of want to put this out there. I know it's kind of late in this conversation, but the term non-human intelligence to me has always been kind of an iffy thing, because I think you could get away with confusing people with non-human intelligence and use that as artificial intelligence that could be created by people. So I'm always kind of a little is he saying non-human intelligence to kind of trick you a little bit? Does he actually mean a biological intelligence? So is he talking about non-human biological intelligence, or is he talking about non-human artificial intelligence? And yes, there's theories that non-human artificial technology could be created by a non-human species. But for now, it's just speculation. He didn't really go into detail on what he meant by that. And really what he meant by non-human intelligence, I don't think anybody has really asked him to clarify what that means. But moving on, the last point that he made was political activism. And I will be posting this video the week of the second UFO hearing in Congress. There has been a lot of UFO chatter going around in Congress this last month, especially since the election. In our next episode, we will be diving into some claims by Tim Burchett and the potential of President-elect Donald Trump coming into office and maybe releasing some UFO files. So that will be really interesting. There has been a big push for, political activism, getting Congress involved in all this. And, if you do your research, there are a number of congressmen and women that are saying that this is a real thing. And they are backing up David Grush. They're backing up Commander David Fravor, who was also mentioned in this video. They are backing up Luis Elizondo, who was also mentioned in this video, Chris Mellon. And, it's really interesting. So we'll see where that goes. I know we all kind of have our different beliefs about Congress getting involved, and are they really going to help anything? Are they really going to reveal anything? But it is interesting to actually see them taking it seriously, not making jokes about it, and using terms like non-human intelligence. So with that, we're going to close up this video. And if you made it this far, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel. Again, follow us on X, follow us on Spotify. Follow it if you're watching this on Spotify already. Follow us on YouTube. It really does help. Being a small independent channel, again, we work very hard to make these videos, to make this content, and it means a lot whenever you hit that like button, when you hit that subscribe button, when you comment down below your thoughts on this episode. So again, Andrew will be coming back. Don't really know for sure when. Again, he's just got a really, really busy schedule, and he's working hard out there, and we're going to be excited to get him back when he does get back. But until then, I will be holding down the fort, and I'll be trying to push out as many updates to this UFO conversation as I can. With that being said, the Rusty Saucer Podcast is out.